Couple use woman with limited mental capacity as a surrogate and now demand child support. Reading a post on LA UK, where a couple used a woman whose sister is the op with limited mental capacity as a surrogate. They used the man's sperm and the surrogate egg and are now demanding child support. The surrogate won't tell her sister how the baby was conceived. But sister says surrogate has no interest in sex. Imagine a world where a woman with limited capacity is raped and used, and whether or not they had sex or not doesn't matter. She hasn't the capacity to understand and then is forced to pay child support. This was a rabbit hole I should not have tried to go down. I just tried to find the information on what you're talking about, and I found a different post about how brain-dead women should be used as surrogates, the idea being that a woman would, in the same vein as organ donation, agree that if she were brain-dead, she would willingly donate her whole body to be used incubator basically. And now I'm even more disturbed. In that thread, the OP said that there was a power of attorney that needed updating. The surrogate's family should have updated this and even sought a health and welfare power of attorney if there wasn't one in place. Usually people opt for the finance power. If she's as vulnerable as OP says, then there should have been people looking out for her, such as carers or social workers, to prevent her being exploited like that. It sounds like the surrogate has even failed by so many people. Disabled women are ones who suffer the most and different kinds of abuse. This world is rotten. They don't need child support because the state should take the child whilst both of these parents rot in jail. I'm scared to ask, but do you have a link to the post? Apart from the fact the police and adult social services need calling in on this case, it also occurred to me that if the child also turns out to be autistic, my daughter diagnosed and I undiagnosed come from a long line of autistic women, are they going to try and dump the child back with its surrogate bio mother? The whole thing is horrific and I think will come under modern slavery laws here, as it's effectively human trafficking. I hope the couple have the book thrown at them. Imagine a world where a woman with limited capacity is raped and used, and whether or not they had sex or not doesn't matter. She hasn't the capacity to understand and then is forced to pay child support. You mean this world? Oh, that's easy. I read the post. The woman wasn't a surrogate as it was her egg and the child is biologically hers. She sounds like a woman with learning disabilities that was tricked, raped and paid to give over the baby. Surely the UK government can step in. You'd think a woman with diminished capacity getting pregnant while set off a doctor's alarm bells. As a mandated reporter, I saw this post. The advice in it was correct. By the letter of the law, she is indeed the only named mother of the child and is liable. But that they needed to gather all the evidence of her being pressured. Her diagnosis saying she wasn't fit to give consent, OP confirmed he had this for her and get lawyers involved. It should be refiled as an abuse case against the surrogates if what OP has stated is true. The more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. Mark Twain. I hate when people use the term surrogate alone when the person's egg was also used. A surrogate just hosts the embryo made with a person's sperm and another person's egg. If the surrogate's egg is also being used, they need to be referred to as an egg donor and surrogate. I read that one too, and thought it was one of the most disturbing posts I've read in a long time. The fact there are complex legal processes to go through to even have a slim chance to resolve it. Well, it's just awful. There are some terrible people out there. Women's bodies are not for purchase or rent. That is sex-based abuse. Men's need for biological children and leaving behind a legacy is narcissistic and sick. I was heavily downvoted last time I talked against surrogate mothers. It was when Buttigieg and his husband had a surrogate mother to have their children. Surrogate mothers, especially when not related to the couple, gay or not, is in a very weak position. They do that because they need money or, in this case, because she's mentally vulnerable. I'm not sure how it was so easily accepted by the general population when it's very clearly the wealthy renting women's bodies for their own selfish desires of a child while adoption exists. Was it even the friend's egg? They talk about doing it without a business involved and the man impregnating her. I don't think you can just sneak out a human egg with a turkey baker. I think they called it surrogate. But they straight impregnated her and then took her baby. This is disgusting. Using a disabled woman's body for surrogacy. A pregnancy that she couldn't even consent to. Was the post deleted? Can't find it. I don't care what anyone says. Surrogacy is disgusting. Our bodies are not containers to be rented out. Having children is a privilege. Not a right. Not a commodity. When I read this, I figured the kid ended up with mental capacity issues like the surrogate egg donor, and that's when they decided to sue. So fucked. People with disabilities are treated like the garbage of the earth in this country. It's so sad and so indicative of the toxic level capitalism has gotten to. If you can't work till you die, you don't matter. Makes me sick. What's their UN? I can't find the post. Legally, this is a mess. What did the surrogacy contract say? And if there was no contract, what will the police say about the rape of this woman and the kidnapping of her child? It may have been a troll post. I can't see it now. I think it has been removed. I saw this post and was disgusted. Never ever thought anyone would be so horrid. I guess I was too optimistic about people. Surrogacy is reproductive exploitation. This is a prime example. And we wonder why the aliens won't talk to us, lol. Handmaid's Tale. Anybody? I bet it is the man that is doing this. That was an awful post. If the family was vindictive enough, I'd mention custody if they really wanted the woman to pay child support. Make it 50-50, then no one has to pay. IDK, what that acronym stands for, so IDK where it was posted, but could you possibly take screenshots and send to some sort of protective services IDK? It could help the lady get into a safe place away from those bad people, because that is abuse. The story might well just have been fake. I hope it was fake. What the fuck is LAUK? And is it a verified source? Is there a name or some kind of identifying info? Or is it just a random post? JNV. This is America. Can OP or someone PM me a link to the original thread? I can't find it. WTF, pure evil bro, and they need to go to prison. Holy WTF. Just when the world can't be more ridiculous, it goes and proves me wrong. Unfortunately, I have heard that this happens quite often. People are so fucking sick.